All right, man. Let's talk about shit. She all in the way. I can't even see the sun. Pro Football Focus got the Lions taking Derek Stingley, and then they got them taking a Mississippi. Somebody from they want to Mississippi. Another DB with the 31st pick. That could be the 32nd pick, depending on what happened in the Pro Bowl. Let's talk about it. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe button, bell icon button. Seth Galina. Like I said, Pro Football got some of the dumbest takes out there. Like I said before. If anything is a strength on this football team, it's the offensive line, tight end, running backs, and the secondary. Now, as far as what happened with safety with Tracy Walker, I don't know. They need a safety. You got Daxton Hill. You got another kid down there that a lot of people like. I forget his name. B. Taylor said it on one of the streams we did on the Lions a while ago. You can find a good safety, like I said before. With the number 1-2 pick, Derek Stingley is a good player. All right, they say he might be the best player in the draft. I heard he had some injury issues, whatever it is. When LSU won the national championship, he was locked down as a true freshman. Amazing talent. But do you take a corner again? A corner only can do so much. The corner importance on the defense is towards the back end of importance. Defensive tackle, edge rushers, interior rushers, inside linebackers, outside linebackers, most times have more importance than a corner. A corner can only take away one. It only take a side of the field away. I don't know where they got that from. In certain situations, in cover 3 and man-to-man coverage, you covering somebody man-to-man. And now that you can't touch and jam safeties now either, receivers and pass catchers now, like I said before, who are the Cincinnati Bengals corners? Who are the other corners for LA Rams? Who's the corners for the Kansas City Chiefs? Who's the corners for Tennessee? They had Janoris Jenkins. I think got to be in like his 10th, 11th year. So who else? Who else made it there? Who's the corners for San Francisco? I think if we go into this draft, priority number 1 with that number 2 pick is to find you a star. Not a depth player. He ain't got to be a star next year. He ain't got to be the star a year after. But to find you a star, eventual star, that is the game plan. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Why would they take another corner? You don't take a corner that high. If you do, he better be Deion. He better be Reeves. That don't help you up front. Really, when you looking at that position, if you talking about just position, edge, interior pass rusher, quarterback, everybody, anything else, it got to be out the extraordinary. Anything else like a receiver, you got to be something like Jamar Chase, Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson. Got to be something like that because there's a lot of depth in this draft at receivers. Guys that's injured. Guys that injured that came back, like the Pickens kids from Georgia. So when you talking about when you get up in there, it's blindside protector or potential blindside protector, edge rusher, interior rusher, quarterback. No particular. Them the 4 things you get up in the top 5 that you gotta have. Everything else, it has to be an extraordinary safety. It has to be an extraordinary corner. It has to be extraordinary running back, extraordinary pass catcher. It has to be extraordinary. It has to be extraordinary. It's as simple as that. Oh, damn. But it's as simple as that. You get up there and get another corner, does it change your defense? Without the front end, the back end don't work. Without the back end, the front end don't work. It's the honest truth. But taking a corner that high, he better be a superstar. I take a safety for a corner because safeties are now asked to do a lot of different things. They asked to, but be in the box, they asked to do everything. It's just safety. There's no free or strong. You just got to be able to play the box. You got to be able to cover tight ends. You got to be able to play the deep half, rob, single high, go into the slot, sometimes go outside. You have to do a lot of different things. I take Hamilton before I take him. when the Lions get up there and start taking the wrong position, when you that high, bro, it's for a reason. Quarterback, blindside protector, quarterback, interior rusher, edge, all them is the four. If you perfectly find those positions, your next two options are to trade down and get as much capital that you can, or take an elite talent while you that high. And the Lions have found themselves in this position too many times. Just because Sports Center say something, McShay say something, Mel Kiper say something, or don't talk about nothing, you have to read it with your own eyes. This is they say Okuda was the top corner. Was he? No. He was nowhere near. But it's hard pressed to. I like Stingley a lot. Stingy, lockdown corner. Probably gonna come in and make the transition seamlessly. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like what they need and what you see to play with trends towards championship teams, corners don't win championships regularly. That pass rush that 49ers had. That's probably what you're looking at. Now, if Thibodeau and Hutchinson worth it, hey, let's see how they do towards the process. Let's see how the combine go. You know, physical, but they both have physical issues. But if they are good enough, it's going to be interesting. You know, if Willis creep his way up into the top 5, hey, somebody want him, you don't like him, trade out of there. But right now, the Pistons need a plan at quarterback. And Jared Goff ain't if they think Jared Goff the answer, Brad Holmes might as well just turn his keys in right now. Turn on the lion gear in right now. Turn the lion gear in right now. There's no more important position than the quarterback position. If you trade down to get Willis, one, you better get him, and you better get a good return. Straight up and down. You know, you better get a good return for him. Simple as that. Simple as that. So, I mean, like I said before, they got some options. But Stingley's hard pressed to believe that Stingley one of those options. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Could be, but talent wise, regardless of position, he might be the highest rated guy in this draft. Very well might be. Maybe he isn't. But he at the top. But like I said before, when you're looking at the draft, man, those are the 4 things you need. Interior, edge rushing, quarterback, blindside protection. Not a guard, not a right tackle. You go that high, you go left tackle. You go left. You go left. So that's kind of pretty much where you at with it. But taking Stingley, hard to imagine. Hard to imagine. So I mean, they got some they got some thinking to do. Yep, they got some thinking to do. They got some time, but they should have a pretty good board so far. Now things can shuffle around. They have their own big board. Things can shuffle around, but this is critical draft right here. And the one thing about what make Malik Willis and Pickett and all them interesting is that you need it. You prepare to need it. And people think you can win with Jared Goff because the Rams did it. No. That's the Rams. That's Brandon Cooks, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald. We ain't got none of that. Cincinnati, you couldn't win in Cincinnati neither. We ain't got none of that. You need a transcendent quarterback like Joe Burrow. And if you miss on one again like you did with Justin Herbert and Willis or Pickett or Ritter, or no matter where they drafted at, you miss on it, I don't know what to say. And you don't have to throw Willis or Ritter or Carson Strong. You don't have to throw them into the fire right away. They can sit on the bench and learn. They can sit on the bench and learn. I'm paying them all this money, and that's they train of thought right there by the quarterback. They gonna say, we paying Goff this money, why pay him to sit on the bench, this, that, and the third? You pay plenty of other players that you paid them a lot of money and they ain't did a goddamn thing in Detroit. They ain't did nothing in Detroit. When you talk about guys like Nick Fairley, Zeke Yancey had a couple good years, and then he fell off a cliff. You paid a lot of guys to come here and play, and you paid a lot of guys and they did nothing. Excuse me. And they did nothing. So why not invest in the most important position? They put a whole little fake speed bump right there. Why not invest into the most important position? That's the difference between being a playoff team, a Super Bowl contender, NFC championship contender, and being at the top of the draft. And Green Bay might find that out sooner than later if they lose Aaron Rodgers. That's the difference. That's the difference. And people can't, even with Joe Burrows, smush it in everybody's face. Lion fans, they do the same thing every year. They want positions that don't matter. They want overrated players that don't matter. They listen to ESPN. They listen to NFL Network. No matter how many years they wrong, they come back the next year and listen to it again. So if you ain't breaking down film, you know what I'm saying, and you don't know nothing, just shut up. But taking Stingley number 2, hey, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I like him a lot. But can you move down and pick up collateral, an extra collateral? You know, but if you pick him at number 2, once again, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him to perform right away, just like it was Jeff Okudah. You don't take corners. You don't take tight ends. You know what I'm saying? There are exceptions to the rules where you take where you could take a guard like Quentin Nelson, but that's truly the exception. If I had to lay out like a little map as far as, you know, just off the top of my head, but how the draft supposed to go in positioning, when you in that top 4, rusher. If it's an interior edge, rusher. Don't take a run defender, you know what I'm saying? You take a rusher. Not a run stopper, you take a rusher. That's why that dude, that Jordan kid from Georgia, is not projected to go that high. You take a rusher. Quarterback. Blind side protector. There are exceptions, but that's what you're taking, like the top 4 or 5. Now, outside the 5 and 10, then you probably talk receiver. Receiver. That's a tough area. You probably think about maybe receiver. You might see some other edge rushers and stuff come off the board, but really, then again, it's the same thing. It's the same throughout the top 10. You're looking for edges, quarterbacks, rusher, maybe receiver creep up in there, maybe right tackle if they're really good creep up in there. You know, but you know, you talk about 15 to like, you know, the second half, 15 to 32. Then you talk about what really creep in there is the interior linebackers. They usually go mid to late first. Second, third, you find a Bobby Wagner, you find a Fred Warner, you find an Eric Kendricks. That's kind of where that interior linebacker kind of go. That's their range. Mid-second, you have, you know, like end of 10, like Patrick Willis, you know, Darrell Bowman might have been second, third round pick. That's kind of where those guys go. You know, then you see right tackles, guards come off late first. Right tackles mid first. You know, then at late first, you might see safeties come off the board. You know, you might see a run of receivers go again. You know, edge rushers going to go throughout the draft depending on their talent. You know, so that's kind of where kind of the map kind of goes. There's a value map in the draft where certain guys go. So, you know, certain places where you take certain positions. When I take a running back top 5, boy, he better be Barry Sanders. Historically, they tend to go late first or in the second. We see with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what's the kid name everybody wanted that played for the Seattle, Rashad Penny. You know, that's kind of the rule of thumb. You know, so second round, late first set, you start seeing kind of second, third sound safeties coming off the board. So, you know, like I said, you don't take tight ends in the first round. I think winning Evan Ingram, David Njoku, a lot of guys, OJ Howard win the first round, they bust. Second round, I start to think about a tight end. I start pondering. I'm not thinking about a tight end 1 through 32 for real. Not at all. The value better be there and the talent better be there. Gronkowski went second round. Antonio Gates didn't get drafted because he hooped. That's when I started just pondering. Maybe. The Lions tend to get up there and take these position groups way too high. Way too high. Cornerback, tight end, man. And they don't even think about a quarterback. Fans just think that, you know, you're going to build a great defense and draft all defense. It's going to take us to the championship. No, you got to score. You got to have a passer in this year. You have to have a passer in this generation. A dual threat now is where the trend is going. That's where the trend is going. And they doing everything not to get a quarterback. They passed up the Carolina trade for Matthew Stafford, where it landed them Sewell and Justin Fields. They doing everything not to get a quarterback. They want to build the team. That's not how you build the team, bro. You got the offensive line. You got Jared Goff for a year. You got all that in your favor. Draft them wherever you want to draft them. Sit them on the bench. Bring us mechanics, reading defenses up to speed. Bring all that up to speed. And play them next year or the year after next or whatever it is. Just because you drafted number 2 don't mean you got to start. Look at Jeff Okuda. He was drafted number 3, 4, whatever it was. Trash. No matter if you throw him into the fire. Killian Hayes drafted number 7. Trash. Charles Rogers drafted number 2. Trash. Rest in peace to him. Rest in power to him. Trash. You don't have to go with conventional wisdom all the time. And you don't have to be the smartest team in the room all the time. Your biggest problem is you continue to lack depth. They're trying to build depth. They continue to lack a transcendent quarterback. They never had one since Bobby Lane. Stafford wasn't transcendent. Joe Burrows, he is. He's in the Super Bowl. Second year coming off being number 1 overall. That's transcendent. Peyton Manning, transcendent. Tom Brady, transcendent. Aaron Rodgers, transcendent. So you lack depth. You lack transcendent quarterback. You lack superstar talent. So it is what it is. Appreciate the love, support. Thumbs up the video. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance notifications to go live. Want to make a financial donation? Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in description. Check my main channel over on YouTube, Goodfella TV. Check my podcast out, Spotify, Spotify, Anchor, Goodfella TV podcast. Appreciate the love, support. Check the Trey Line Talk playlist out for more videos like this. Peace.